Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're brand new here, my name is Julie and I am a crochet artist. In fact, I actually write and share a lot of my own crochet patterns on my website for free, which I will leave a link down below so that you can go and check them out. Today, I want to talk to you about taking and editing photos. Now, I don't really claim to be an expert in this field. In fact, I struggled quite a bit when I first started out. However, since it's part of the gig, I have gotten better over time and I found a system that works for me. We all know that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and it is important to have good photographs when it comes to selling and marketing your art. All the photos that you see on my website and my Etsy are taken by myself using a cell phone camera. There's no fancy gear needed. So let me tell you how I do it. So first of all, let's talk about backdrops. When I first started out, I was constantly studying what kind of backdrops people use to take pictures and how I can do something similar. I have seen some beautiful flat lay images with props like flowers and stuff, and it works really nicely. My setup here is a lot simpler because I just use colored cardstock paper as my backdrop. I bought a package of colored cardstock paper from Michaels, and it comes in pre-packaged colors that already go really well together, which is extremely helpful for me because otherwise I'd be there all day unable to decide which colors to go with. I typically store it in a folder to keep it clean and wrinkle-free. I also try to keep it away from the sun if possible so that it doesn't fade around the edges. I don't have any fancy lighting gear except for a simple ring light above my desk, so I try to use natural light from the sun for the most part. My desk is actually positioned right next to a giant window, so it's not hard for me to do. However, it's best not to take photos under direct sunlight because it can create some harsh shadows. To soften some of the shadows, you can try to use a white sheet of paper or foam board to bounce light from the other side. You can also try using a light box if you need to have better control of your lighting environment, but I don't have one of those at this time. So let's talk about white balance for a second. Your phone camera usually sets it automatically, which means that it's constantly guessing what the true white in your photo should look like. The problem is the lighting in your space, and whatever that is within view of the camera can trick your camera to continuously adjust the image to a warmer or cooler tone to balance it out. To fix this, I use the Pro Camera mode to lock my white balance before I shoot, so this doesn't keep changing with every little movement and object that I put into the view of the camera. In addition to using the Pro Camera mode, I also use a gray card. I don't actually have a gray card, so this is actually a gray paint chip sample from the hardware store. If you want to do that as well, make sure you choose one that is more of a neutral gray. I use the gray card to find a proper white balance for the camera. Then I lock it to that setting. Once we do that, then we take a quick photo of the gray card itself, and I'll tell you why later. After that, I'll proceed to take photos of the project. So let's do that and we'll come back to edit them. When it comes to actually taking the photo, the goal is to make your piece look as true to life and appealing as possible, especially if you're planning to use these photos for marketing purposes. Think about composition. Keep your background simple so that your project stands out. Leave a little extra space around the subject of the image instead of filling in the entire frame. This will give you a little bit of flexibility later on if you want to crop the image. Don't be afraid to take multiple photos from different angles. This isn't the early 2000s anymore. You don't have to pay for film or pay to develop the photos, so go ahead and go a little crazy. Shoppers love being able to see all the details before they buy. So if your piece has something special like textured stitches or removable accessories, make sure to zoom in or take close-ups to highlight those things. I love using Snapseed to edit my photos. It's free and ad-free. It's super easy to use, and it's one of my favorite apps for quick touch-ups. The first tool that I usually reach for is the healing tool. I typically use it to remove any creases or seams from the cardstock paper and maybe a piece of lint in the background that I didn't notice before. You just brush over the area and Snapseed blends it away. Then I'd also use the selective tool to help brighten certain areas in the photo. For example, a shadow in the corner, it helps even out everything without changing the whole photo. I used to use Snapseed to exclusively edit my photos, and I would still do that when I just have like 1 or 2 photos that I want to tweak. However, if I want to batch edit, I find that using Lightroom is much faster for that purpose. The first thing that I do in Lightroom is fix the white balance. Remember that gray card photo that I took earlier? I'll open it in Lightroom, grab the white balance eyedropper, and tap on the gray area. That helps set the perfect neutral balance. Once that is done, I can copy those settings and apply them to all the photos from the same photo shoot. This saves me so much time. Next, I'll fine-tune the exposure. I usually bump it up just a touch if the photo feels a little dark. Then I'll adjust the highlights and shadows so that the stitches are visible without blowing out the lighter areas. And that's pretty much it. It makes everything look polished and uniform while still being quick and efficient. And that's it. With just a few simple tools and apps, you can get bright, clean, and true-to-life photos of your crochet and amigurumi project that is perfect for your Etsy listing, blog post, and social media. If you found this video helpful, please like and comment down below. Let me know whether or not you want me to do a deeper dive into all the tools that I use on Snapseed and Lightroom. Don't forget to check out the rest of my channel and make sure that you subscribe for more behind the scenes and crochet tutorials and other content. And with that, I will see you next time. Bye!